Lots of news coming out of Disney Camp this week. The Genie service. What the heck is that? NBA experience closing. We talked about that last week. But also Splash Mountain moving forward with a retheming. So let's dive into this week's episode of the Mouse and Men, where we explore the grown-up side of Disney. We're going to cover all of this, but go to themouseandmen.com where you can get our top 10 things for grown-ups to do in Walt Disney World, plus find all of our social media profiles, connect with us there. I am Bradley. I'm here with Chris. Chris, there's a lot. Disney was just busy last week.
Yeah. Some of it I'm still confused about. They have definitely been busy. I still don't really can't wrap my head around the Genie system, but I'm glad that you can because I need you to educate me because I want to use it. I want to get excited about it, but I don't I feel like some of the other people I've heard out there is like, okay, there's a Lightning Pass, there's a Genie system or a Genie app, all this kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to talking about some Newswire things for August, and especially to get up to date on how I'm going to be able to utilize Genie to make my vacation that much better.
Well, let's jump right in to the Mouse and Men. So starting with this Genie service, there are three options. I wouldn't even call it three tiers. So
okay.
Option one is just the complimentary Genie service. What this does is, and I haven't really seen the whole thing, but what I understand is you put in your plans, as in, I'm going to this park, or I really want to ride these rides. And for no fee, through your My Disney Experience app, it will tell you things like, hey, there is a low wait at Space Mountain. Now, it may still be 45 minutes, but when wait times are generally 80 minutes for something like Space Mountain, 45 is a deal. So you can hoof it across the park, get into a shorter line for Space Mountain. All that happens free. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, any ride, it tells you when there's a low wait time and to go there. It may even say, hey, a lot of people are planning on going to the Magic Kingdom today. Maybe you should try one of these other parks. I don't know. But it is a travel assistant in your pocket on your phone, helping you in real time to make the most out of your trip. I really like this. Basically, you're trading free fast passes for this kind of computer intel.
Gotcha.
I think it's going to help wait times just across the board go down a little bit.
Yeah.
It compared to not having it with, with the same system. So that's just your complimentary Genie service option. There's a Genie Plus option. This is at Disney World, an extra $15 per ticket per day. Okay. So if you've got a family of four and you're going to the parks for 4 days, that's $60 per day per family. So that's $240 if my math is serving me correctly.
Yeah.
What it does is it allows you fast passes, but there's no early booking. So the way that fast passes used to work is, I think it was 60 days in advance. You log in and you can say, hey, I want to go to these 3 rides on this day, and you get fast passes. Once you use those 3 up, you can keep getting one at a time throughout the day until there are none left. It gets too late in the day to make any more. So now that only happens day of. So day of, you log in and you grab your first fast pass, which is, I guess, just called Lightning Lane now. So it's no longer Fast Pass, it's Lightning Lane. Is that for Lightning McQueen? I don't know. They should put his face, his windshield,
His grill.
Yeah, his grill. Put his grill up on everything. So lightning lane, you make your selection for your first lightning lane. Once you either use that one, or it may be 90 minutes later, something like that, you can get another one. So it's kind of a one at a time thing.
Gotcha.
That's fine. Here's the kicker. It also includes Memory Maker, which is the photo opportunity. So you can get your photo taken and they scan, I guess, your phone now. It used to be your Magic Band. You can get your picture taken in front of the castle. They can do digital stuff where, maybe you're holding the lamp, the lamp and the genie's coming out of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
They can add that stuff in there, but also all the pictures from the rides. If you've got Memory Maker, you can just get all of those. You can download all of them. Otherwise, you can choose to buy them one at a time, and you can choose to buy them when you get home. But this Genie Plus includes Memory Maker, which currently is $169. So
wow,
So it's an additional for a family of 4 for 4 days in the parks, and it's an additional $50. Is it worth it? I don't know. Though I've not used the Memory Maker because I have not been back since. Well, I've been back, but I haven't been back for an extended time where it's like, what? I want to get a lot of pictures kind of thing. Yeah. Now that I've got kids, I think I will want to add this on. So the Genie Plus option may be something more. And if it's just another $50 for a 4-day thing, I don't know. I think that's not too bad of an expense. I think we're okay. Yeah. So that's Genie service complimentary. Genie Plus, $15 per ticket per day. Then there's a special lightning lane option. So Genie Plus doesn't include every attraction that's got a queue. There are some, and a list hasn't been released, but you can kind of think any brand new attraction that's going to have more demand, they're probably going to have this lightning lane option. And what it does is you pay an amount of money. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's $15 like Genie Plus. I don't know if it's $20, which I don't know if I stayed this. Genie Plus at Disneyland is $20 per ticket per day.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So Disney World, pricing. 15, Disneyland, 20, maybe because everything costs more in California. But so this lightning lane option, it's only for specific attractions. It's a one-time fee, and you get to choose 2 per day. Okay. So it may be, it may be something like the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, because that's generally a longer wait at Magic Kingdom. Right. And there may be a second one that has that option. Maybe it's Space Mountain. But that you can get that. You don't have to get the Genie Plus. But basically you can get 2 lightning lanes that day for those special things. In Hollywood Studios, it may be Slinky Dog Dash, and one of the rides, whether
Rise of the Resistance
or Smuggler's Run. I don't know, or it may just be both at Galaxy's Edge. I don't know, but think bigger attractions, newer attractions, the ones that have really long waits. Those are probably the ones that are going to have this special lightning lane purchase option. It gets confusing because Genie Plus, you're getting lightning lane tickets for most attractions, but there are going to be a couple that aren't on there that are a separate purchase. However, everybody gets the complimentary Genie service.
Gotcha. So the Genie service will almost be like the app that, if they're retiring this, but the old My Disney Experience, app was for Disney World, similar to that, or will they keep that going too?
So my Genie is inside of my Disney experience, and it's
Gotcha.
it's a day of kind of planner. I think it helps some as you're planning in advance as well. But day of, you wake up and it says, "Hey, you're going to Magic Kingdom. Right now, there's a low wait for Big Thunder Mountain. Head that way." It's like, sweet, that's where I'm going, because I've said I want to ride Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, and Space Mountain. I want to hit the mountains. It's like, well, everybody's headed towards Space Mountain. Go to Big Thunder. We'll hit Space later. It's going to tell you that kind of stuff. So think of it as somebody watching those wait times and knowing how they change throughout the day.
Yeah.
Telling you, hey, go over to this attraction right now. It's got a low wait, that sort of thing.
Okay.
In your pocket.
Gotcha. Okay. So I like this better now than my first initial thought. When I first initially thought about this, I thought, okay, this is just another way for Disney to try to extract more money from me when I go on vacation with my family, and giving my family another opportunity to go like, Dad, but can't we get the Genie service sort of thing? Now, I'm seeing some benefits. One, it's not a completely redesigned thing that we're not used to. We are used to using fast passes and having to deal with all that. I like the idea that maybe, especially if it can show me currently, how about I say this? My family, we're not typically ones who plan a year out, or even sometimes plan 60 days out. Sometimes we're like, hey, fall break's coming up in 6 weeks. Do you think we can make Disney work? And so because of that, sometimes by the time we sign up,
6 weeks, sometimes it's 14 days. It's like, let's just go.
Sure. That's true too. But now sometimes I'm not able to look at some of those the day of 60 days before your ticket starts. Now you can start making those reservations because I'm within that 60-day window. But now with this Genie service, I can day of upgrade my service maybe to be able to access some of those things that, because I waited, now I can just pay for the ability to be at the front of some of those lines versus being at the back of them because I wasn't able to do my reservation 60 days in advance, whether it be dining reservation or rides.
Yeah. So as I understand, dining reservations, you can still make those 60 days in advance. That's not a part of the Genie service that I can tell. I think it's more for attractions, but you will not be able to do these Lightning Lane fast pass selection 60 days in advance. It's all going to be day of for everybody. So
interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, you can still plan ahead and say, hey, we're going to this park, we're going to this park. But yeah, so for those people who really like to plan every little detail, it's gonna be a little tougher. I get to the point of scheduling out which park I want to go to which day. That was based on which ones were opening earlier or later, stayed open later, that sort of thing. But now with this Genie service, I think I don't have to do as much, which I like. I'm okay with that. But yeah, for those of you who are just kind of going on a whim, or who live in the area, annual pass holders who just like to go kind of spur of the moment, you can go and you don't have to worry about, I didn't make a fast pass selection 60 days in advance. That's fine. Hop on Genie. They'll tell you where you should go because it's got a low wait sort of thing. At first I thought, well, they're just wanting to charge for fast passes, but I'm getting traded this Genie service that will tell me how to maximize my time without needing fast passes, Lightning Lane. I love that. I'm happy with it. I'm good with that trade-off. I think the next time I go, I will try without paying for Genie Plus or Lightning Lane just to see how it works. Because I have a feeling Disney knows the data. They know how their lines, their queues fluctuate throughout the day. I think they've got a good handle on this. Plus, they're going to be using all sorts of artificial intelligence to really, really monitor this stuff.
Yeah. And that's my favorite part, is the fact that this stuff will make my trip and my family's trip more enjoyable, more memorable, and less work that we have to do to make it that way. It's just more of an experiential thing, which I'm always about. I would pay for conveniences that make my experience that much better. So bring it on. If that's what the Genie is, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be really great. I'm excited about it. Will I pay for it? Probably eventually. But it all depends on how good that complimentary Genie service is, which I think is going to be pretty good. We'll keep an eye on it. So the other news coming out now almost 2 weeks ago is the NBA experience at Disney Springs in Orlando is closing. When we were there, August 2019, we saw it open. They did a grand opening thing for media. Then I think we were there the next day. Or later that afternoon, they were doing more stuff inside, but they had this big merchandise area, little store with all sorts of NBA gear. We poked our heads around in there. Looked cool. But it seems like the price point was too high. And then I don't know, it because of how it opened right before COVID. So it opened in August, then everything closes down middle of March, early March. So you've got about 7 months of it being open. Not a lot of trial, but I don't know if they were doing customer surveys in trying to evaluate, should we reopen this? But they announced it will not be reopening. It's never reopened since March 2020. So something else will be going on in there. If you listened to us last week, we put on our Imagineering hats and thought of a lot of things that we thought were pretty good of what could go there. But if you haven't listened to it, go back, check that out. It's a bummer to see something go away so quickly. So either Disney has great ideas of what could go there, or they just knew this was not a great execution. We'll take our lumps and we'll do something else. I don't know, but that was the news out of Disney.
Yeah. That, you hit the nail on the head. For me, I just think about it and I'm like, it's a bummer, because although I appreciated it when we were there at the grand opening, really enjoyed the atmosphere. I thought it would be fun for me and my son to go experience. Those are all bummers. It feels like more of a bummer that it didn't even have like a full summer, like a heavy travel vacation season to see if it could gain more traction. It did have a holiday season in like holidays 2019. But barely into 2020 before it closed and never reopened. So it is sad that it wasn't given much more of a shot, although it is Disney. They've been in the theme park and experience and attractions game for 70 plus years at this point. Maybe they just looked at the writing on the wall and thought that early information and returns are telling us that this is not going to be an out of the box success. And maybe Disney and the NBA didn't want that as kind of a scar on their record. They can go ahead and close it down now, even though if they see that it's not going to be performing as well as they hoped it would be, they go ahead and close it now. And now it's one of those, in history, it will be looked at as it closed because of COVID, not because it underperformed. So maybe there's some argument there for that, but it is a bummer.
Yeah. And then kind of our last bit of news that was just announced this last week, more advancement on Splash Mountain being rethemed for the Princess and the Frog. Chris, take us through a little bit of what they have announced for this new Princess and the Frog attraction.
Yeah, again, this is something that as Disney fans, we've been hearing about for a while now, that they are possibly going to close down Splash Mountain in its current iteration, create a new theming or new overlay with the Princess and the Frog. But I think that a lot up until recently is speculation. Now it's actually been announced and some concept drawings have come out You can go to People Magazine and find out more information on that, just saying where we get that source from. And so People being a pretty reputable source of not just rumors, but they're talking about things as they are coming out. One of the interesting things in reading that article was that they talked about some of the original inspiration around Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog was from a lady named Leah Chase. She is a restaurant owner at the Dookie Chase restaurant in New Orleans, which I
love eating Dookie.
Oh man, you gotta try it. This classic New Orleans fare.
Yeah.
But that is where a lot of the Imagineers found some early inspiration for not only how the restaurant looked in Princess and the Frog, but getting actual. This is how our princess will be, based on Leah, that is a part owner of the Dookie Chase restaurant there in New Orleans, and so much so to where they have gone back and they are using Lee and her family to make sure that they're getting it right, to make sure that the cultural experience, the ride experience, even though it's based on a fairy tale, that they are getting the culture part of it as much to actual New Orleans as possible. So I love the idea that they're not just, leaning on existing IP, which they are in The Princess and the Frog, but they are still updating it to make sure that it is a current reflection of where that entire story may be in the actual real New Orleans. And on top of that, Disney has donated $50,000 to the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts as just a thank you, as kind of a tip of the cap of all of the work that the culture and the city of New Orleans has provided to Disney for creating the Princess and the Frog movie, and now will be the new overlay at Splash Mountain. And man, I'm excited for this. I'm going to miss some of the memories of going to Splash Mountain. Completely understand some of the reasoning behind needing to update, and how cool is it? Like, almost you can change some hats out on some of the characters and you don't even have to take them out of the ride, because it's such a feel of that Critter Country, New Orleans kind of, country feel that Song of the South originally was. And then a similar time frame to where Princess and the Frog is that universe exists. So I love this idea, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, even though there will be a few things that I will miss about the old Splash Mountain, just memories of being able to sing the song and zippity doo and all that kind of stuff. But looking forward to what's going on there. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad that it's now an official announcement and not just speculation.
Yeah, I love that we're getting some details on just the direction that this Princess and the Frog retheming is going to go. I'm really excited. Can't wait to hear and see more. So that's going to do it for the Newswire this week and this month. So let's get into plussing. So Chris, you brought up that Leah Chase has this restaurant, the Dookie Chase restaurant, and you suggested, hey, if you're in the New Orleans area, go check it out. Go check out the Dookie Chase restaurant. That sounds like a delicious idea to me.
Man, and maybe this is like little Chris dreaming of one day being an Imagineer, or one day being an animator for Disney. Some of my early childhood dreams. The idea of being an Imagineer always has sounded so fantastic to me, that like back in the early days, Walt Disney and his team, they would go, if they were going to do a cartoon based on some characters from South America, or for some animals from South America, they don't just bring in some animals and they sketch those out, which they do, but they also go to South America and experience that culture, experience what it's like to be there, so that the drawings, the background, the experience, everything is as close to true to life as possible, even though it is through a cartoon or animation. I love the idea of when the Imagineers, the animators, were creating Princess and the Frog, they actually went to New Orleans, spent time soaking up the culture, eating the food, going and doing the parades and the French Quarter and all of that stuff. And so I thought that this is one of those rare opportunities that us as fans of Disney we see where they've gotten their inspiration. And this isn't something that Walt Disney and his team did back in the 50s. Like, we could leave right now and drive to New Orleans and go and see inspiration for an actual Disney movie. Yeah. And see if we could meet Leah Chase, we could actually see inspiration for a real Disney princess. And how cool is it that we could do that in real time? So I thought it'd be a wonderful thing for Plussing to, if we can, in our current day, have kind of like living out an Imagineer fantasy camp sort of thing. Go to New Orleans and see where they got a lot of their inspirations at the Dookie Chase restaurant. So the next time I'm there, I'm absolutely visiting, and I will come back and report here on the show. But I think that's a wonderful way for us all as Disney fans to experience that much more. Even if we're not at Disney, we can experience where Disney has gotten their inspiration.
Yeah, and obviously, Walt himself loved New Orleans. That's why there's a New Orleans Square in Disneyland. It's where he got a little toy bird that later became the audio animatronic, or the inspiration for the audio animatronics for the Enchanted Tiki Room. There's a lot of ties between Disney, Walt Disney, and New Orleans, and this is kind of bringing it full circle. Thank you. I'm hungry. So, I'm going to just remind our friends at home in their earbuds through their speakers that you ought to go to the mouseandmen.com. We've got our TMAM digest there. We've got our top 10 things for grownups to do in Walt Disney World, plus links to our social media. Connect with us there. Join us in the lounge. We love lounges. So join us in the lounge for the Mouse and Men over on Facebook. And, you know, I'm really excited about Genie, the Genie service.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really excited about this new Splash Mountain stuff because it's new. And that's kind of it. Though it can be scary to explore something new, it's also fun. And I just want to remind people that you don't want to grow up too fast.
But if you are out there exploring, you don't want to grow up too fast, you got to keep exploring.